would be a practice. So we'll just see how it goes. Yes, sir. Every time. Well, we'll find out here in a minute. I was going to call this thing 3 Chords in the Truth, but it has 4 chords in it, so I called it Exit Plan. Well, it's kind of loud there, didn't it? Apparently, I don't want to play that one. Let me play this one here. That's a great way to start, isn't it? Sir, you threw me off. You made me nervous. I think that it's high time we slip on down to Galveston again. Hey, now we can rent that little place down near the beach like we once did. Then we can walk hand in hand with bare feet upon the sand. And then we can watch that big old sun sink down with no one else around on Galveston. On Galveston. On Galveston, we can make our getaway, head on down to stay on Galveston. On Galveston. On Galveston. We can make a little love, have a lot of fun on Galveston. Yeah. Later on, I think it would be lovely if we could maybe rediscover that old Mexican restaurant up in that neighborhood. Somewhere between frozen margaritas, yeah, sizzling shrimp fajitas, I would. Baby, recognize that old come on in your eyes that says I should. On Galveston. On Galveston. We can make our getaway, head on down to stay on Galveston. On Galveston. On Galveston. Well, we can make a little love, have a lot of fun on Galveston. Yeah, so let's make our getaway. We can head on down to play on Galveston. Yeah, let's make our getaway, my baby. on Galveston. Ooh, there we go. Got one down. I'm sitting on the beach with two umbrellas, till the drink one that's over my head. I know an angry woman up in Dallas thinks I should be up there loving her instead. If I get the courage, I may call her. If I don't, I may stay where I am and order me another small umbrella and dream away my days with my toes in the sand. I came down here just to get away. Wasn't like I had a plan to stay. I could go back home if I wanted to. Oh, but the beach is, I said beach. Oh, but the beach is calling me. The sand, the surf, the sea. I'm sitting on the beach with two umbrellas. One stuck in my drink, but it's over my head. I know an angry woman up in Dallas thinks I should be up there loving her instead. If I get the courage, I may call her. If I don't, I may stay where I am and order me another small umbrella. Dream away my days with my toes in the sand. In a little while I'll be forced to move. When the morning sun turns to afternoon, chases on my little itty bitty piece of shade. Hey, 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 I'm gonna have to get my chair, scooch it over there. I'm sitting on a beach with two umbrellas, one stuck in my drink, one that's over my head. I know an angry woman up in Dallas thinks I should be up there loving her instead. If I get the courage, I may call her. If I don't, I may stay where I am and order me another small umbrella. Dream away my days with my toes in the sand. I'm sitting on the beach, two umbrellas, one stuck in my drink, one is over my head. I know an angry woman up in Dallas who thinks I should be up there loving her instead. If I get the courage, I may call her. If I don't, I may stay where I am and order me another small umbrella and dream away my days with my toes in the sand and order me another small umbrella and dream away my days soaking up some rays. Dream away my days with my toes in the sand. Woo, there it is. Thank you so much. We love to come down to the old quarter. We love Galveston so much, and we're grateful to be back down here. Thank you for having us, Joel. We appreciate you so much. One of our other favorite places to go is a little place outside of Fredericksburg, Texas. And if you've been to Fredericksburg, there's Fredericksburg, and then outside of Fredericksburg this way, there's a place called Lukenbach you may have heard of. But right in between Fredericksburg and Lukenbach is a little place that it used to be a town, and it was called Bankersmith. And Bankersmith was dreamed up by a guy in Fredericksburg that wanted to see if he could woo the railroad into coming there. And he was a banker in town, and his last name was Smith. So he called it Banker Smith. And so it was a thing for a while. They did get the railroad. It was one of about 3 railroad tunnels that ever they had in Texas. And it lasted for a while, and eventually the railroad left, and the town kind of went away. It became a ghost town. And it became several things over the years. They tried to make it into something, and then there was a fella from New York that was a senator up in New York State, and a state senator, and he decided that he wanted to move on down to Texas, and he bought it up and turned it into a music venue, and they have all kinds of festivals there. We love the place, and in fact, I loved it so much I wrote a song about it. And that's our single that's on the radio right now. It's called Bankersmith, Texas. I've been dreaming of a lazy country road outside of Fredericksburg, and that familiar song on a hill country breeze that I once heard. I've been checking my watch since noon. 5 o'clock can't come too soon, 'cause you and I have memories waiting to be made tonight. Guitars are coming out in Bankersmith, Texas. You and I will be there, soaking up the flavors of a Lone Star state of mind we both love. Boots on the hardwood, beer in hand, my arm around you, baby, and then listen to the band. Don't it sound like heaven tonight, Bankersmith, Texas? It seems we never take the time just to get away. We keep on burning that candle that both good ends, night and day. Hey, now we can't keep on keeping on. It's time we change our song, 'cause you and I have memories waiting to be made today, yeah. All our friends are hanging out, Bankersmith, Texas. We're gonna meet them there. It's where the good life is, that Lone Star state of mind we both love. We'll put our boots on the hardwood, hand in hand, playing kissy kissy, baby, ain't it grand? It sounds like heaven tonight in Bankersmith, Texas. Tricky part, Manuel. I hear guitars tuning up in Bankersmith, Texas. Got a lot of friends there we ain't even met yet. That Lone Star state of mind we both love. We can make tonight forever if that's how you feel. You know I love you, Kelly, 'cause I'm head over heels. It sounds like heaven tonight, Bankersmith, Texas. Lord, it feels like heaven tonight, Bankersmith, Texas. Oh, it's gonna be heaven tonight. Everything's gonna be alright, 'cause everybody's doing it right in Bankersmith, Texas. Bankersmith, Texas. thank you. Thank you very much. How many of you have ever been to Marfa, Texas? Anybody? Oh, good. Oh, a lot of people. Cool. How many of you have ever been to Marfa, Texas with me? Woo! That's one of those road runners that's sitting up there. In fact, we were on that trip. We'd gone down to Terlingua. And we stopped off at, was it a gas station, I guess it was? And I think it was it you, Kelly, that found these road runners? And we bought them all up. And so our fan club that travels with us a lot, they're called the Roadrunner Club. And so these guys go and they sit on speakers wherever we go to play. And one night I was playing at a place in Fort Worth, I think it was. And this cute little young lady walked by, and I don't know how old she was, 2 or 3 maybe. I don't know. I'm not a good judge of women's ages. And so anyway, she was giving our road runners the side eye, and she walked over and snatched one up and walked off with it. And I was in the middle of a song. I wasn't sure what to do. I had never had that happen before, and I had never fought a 2-year-old. So I didn't know what to do, and she walked off with it, and so I just kept doing my thing. But I could tell there were some people that were concerned about this happening. And at some point, I think it was after some period of time, maybe 30 or 45 minutes, you could definitely tell what was going on between mother and daughter. She said, okay, you're going to have to give the roadrunner back. And the girl said, no, it's mine. And she said, no, it's not. And so she made her come and put it back up there. So the Three Stooges are still together. And we're glad that they are. I felt bad about her not getting what she wanted, but I bet she'll get pretty much everything she wants from here on out. Anyway, we had, I thought I should write me a song about Marfa. And if you've never been to Marfa, Marfa is a magical place. For, I guess, thousands of years, the Native Americans out in that part of the country, they were noticing these weird lights that would come on out on the prairie. They would just pop on, and sometimes they would pulsate, or they'd change colors, or sometimes they'd split into two and zip off in different directions, or there'd be several of them that would come together and then disappear, and they called them ghost lights. And at some point, there were some of the Anglo settlers that began moving out to that part of the country, and they began to see them too, and they thought, let's just plant a town out here because there's so much to do out in that part of the country. And so they did, and so they built them a little observatory where you can go sit out with your lawn chairs, and you can see them on certain nights. The night we happened to go out there, they had the night off apparently. We didn't get to see them. But I sat down, I wrote me a song about Marfa, Texas. I thought, and then after I sang it a while, I realized this isn't about Marfa, Texas at all. It's about, if you don't deal with the problems you got wherever you are, you can run as far as Marfa, Texas, which is 532 miles from my front gate to there, and your problems will be waiting on you when you get there. So anyway, deal with your stuff, people. This is called Marfa Lights. If I can put First Light behind me and Mexico on my left side, how far do you think a full tank can take me? How long till I see those Marfa lights? Do big wheels keep on turning? Do carry on my wayward son? Do take it easy? Do and let these ponies run? Yeah. I dropped my letter in your mailbox. Baby, there was nothing left unsaid. God, find me a little back road inspiration now. See if I can shake these cobwebs from my head. New big wheels keep on turning. New carry on my wayward son. New take it easy. New gonna let these ponies run. I got Mr. DJ to keep me company. He's got the tunes to ease my mind. My windows down and that desert breeze to cool me. Lord, I can almost see those Marfa lights, let them shine. New big wheels keep on turning. New carry on my wayward son. New take it easy. New gonna let these ponies run. New big wheels keep on turning. New carry on my wayward son. Ooh, take it easy. New gonna let these ponies run, 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 run. Ooh, gonna let these ponies run. Yeah. If I can put May Pearl behind me, Lord, I can almost see these Marfa lights. Woo, thank you very much. Thank you. Well, we're at the part of the show where it all just gets real right now. So it's the part of the show where I let you know exactly how cool that I really am. Here we go. So when I was in high school, I was so cool, I wanted to be John Denver. But that job was taken. So I thought, well, maybe I could play in his band. So I wrote John a letter, and I said, hi there. You should fire the guy you got playing guitar for you, and you should hire me because I'm cool, and I know all of your songs. Oddly, I never heard back from John Denver on that deal. But the guy he had playing guitar for him was a guy that later on in life became one of my good friends, Steve Weisberg. He thought that was the funniest story that he had ever heard before. And he told me a lot of the stories of some of the things we'd kind of heard about, you know. Man, I thought Rocky Mountain High was about the elevation in Colorado. I had no idea what was really going on there. But I identified very much with John's writing. As a young guitar player, it wasn't too difficult to be able to play. And he wrote about Colorado. My parents were teachers, and during the summers, we would try to escape the Texas heat many times, and we would go up to Colorado to do so, and so I could relate to those songs. John was very positive, and I liked his message. And so I was about 14 years old, I guess, and I asked my parents, I saw they were coming to Fort Worth, and I begged my parents, please, please, will you take me to see John Denver? And they bought tickets for Brother Bruce and me, and Mom and Dad took us over there, $7 a ticket. $7 a ticket. Wow, those were the days, huh? And so we got there, and I was very excited. And we weren't at the back. We weren't at the front. We were kind of in the middle section, the first tier up. And back then, he did a show in the round. He had a stage in the round. And at the end of every song, the lights would go down. And when the lights came back up, the stage had rotated a little bit. So everybody was kind of got to be in the front of him at some point during the show, and so it came time for the show, and I was very excited. And all of a sudden, all the lights went completely out, and you couldn't see anything. It was so dark. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And then there was this voice that said, "Ladies and gentlemen, John Denver." And people began to cheer, and it was kind of like when I came out a while ago. It was so loud you really couldn't hear anything else. And all of a sudden, you couldn't see where he was, but you knew where he was because suddenly people in that part wherever he was walking down that aisle were taking so many photographs. It was blinding. It was just absolutely blinding. And then he stood on the stage, and he began singing, and people hung on every word, and they sang along. And at some point, I looked around. I'm not a genius, but especially in math, I was good when they had farm animals in math. You know, the farmer had 7 pigs and one died, but when they put the alphabet in math, I was done. But I could look around and I could figure out $7 times however many people. This was a pretty good deal, and people seemed to like him a lot, and I would like people to like me too. And so that night, I decided this is what I'm going to do. Well, when John passed away, I thought back on all of that, and in fact, I did do that. I mean, I went and got a degree in music, and I taught high school choir and guitar for 31 years. And I played shows on the side and went out and traveled around a little bit and sang my songs, put out some albums. And I retired back in 2019, and now I get to be a rock star all the time. And here we are. But he greatly influenced me. And so when he passed away, I wrote this song. Well, I find myself in quiet contemplation about my rocky high school days. An awkward kid with no direction, sometimes just wishing I could fly away. I met a friend and he made the difference. He spoke of things that I understood, taught me to sing and to play this guitar some. Now I've flown higher than I ever thought I could, singing Rocky Mountain High. I learned to reach for the sky. I've flown higher than I ever thought I could, singing Rocky Mountain High. Yeah. This old guitar helped me find my identity. His music helped me through the pain of all the adolescent cruelty. For not being cool back in your high school can bring. Oh, but now, with all those years behind me, I can smile because I know home is safe, and how you get there. You can take me home down country road, singing Rocky Mountain High. I learned to reach for the sky, and I've flown higher than I ever thought I could. Just singing Rocky Mountain High. Well, my phone rang one early Monday morning with the news that my friend was gone. Though I never met him, Lord, I knew I'd miss him. Picked up this old guitar, played a little song, and I sang some Rocky Mountain High. I learned to reach for the sky. I've flown higher than I ever thought I could. Singing Rocky Mountain High. You taught me to reach for the sky. And I've flown higher than I ever thought I could. Singing Rocky Mountain High. 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 Ooh. Rocky Mountain High. He was born in the summer of his 27th year. Thank you very much. I did my first album. It was a record. It was a vinyl. They call them now. The kids call it a vinyl now. It was a record back in 1986 or 87. I was going through my Miami Vice stage. Had my parachute pants. I had my jacket pushed up above my elbows, and I had my mullet, you know. Woo. But I did my first CD like in 1998, I guess it was. I was playing coffee houses at the time. I hadn't worked my way up to barbecue places yet, certainly not the Old Quarter Acoustic Cafe. But somebody convinced me that I should do a CD. They would come in and they said, "Wow, you got some great songs. You should make a CD." And I listened to them, and I made me a CD. And $10,000 later, I had a living room and garage full of CDs. And I thought, perhaps I should get out there and try and sell some of these, hawk my wares. And so I did. And man, I was so lucky because it was the Texas music people that really latched onto me first. And such a blessing because, you know, you don't have to have the flat belly much anymore, you know, and you don't have to be young, look good in a hat or any of that stuff. If you had good songs, those people would follow you around every night, and they'd sing along with you, and they'd support your music. And one of the first breaks I got was I got to open for Gary P. Nunn, and I didn't even know who Gary P. Nunn was. I mean, I know now, you know, but at the time I didn't know, and it was at a cool place. And I was used to playing shows where there was a bartender looking at his watch like he wanted to go home, and some guy passed out at the bar. And that was my demographic at the time. But that night we were going to play to a full house in front of a lot of people that we had never heard us before, and we were going to open for a Texas legend. And so, very excited. And so we showed up, and we were doing our sound check, and I heard the back doors open, and this loud group of guys came tumbling in, and it was Gary's band. And And they heard we were playing, so they kind of settled down a little bit and listened a little bit. And then one of the guys in the group said, wow, they sound really good. What kind of music do they play? And somebody in our group of people said, I don't know, it's kind of like a Texas kind of country. And he said, ooh, wow, Texas kind of country. That sounds like a great name for a song. And he said, Gary, did you hear that? And Gary was walking in about that time, and I hadn't met him yet. And he said, yeah, Texas kind of country. I think I'll write me a song called Texas Kind of Country. And I go, I hopped off the stage, and like I said, I hadn't met him, so I walked right up to him and I said, so you're going to steal our idea? And he said, heck yeah, I am. And I go, all right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll race you for it. He laughed, and I laughed. Well, we played the show, and as we were doing our part of the show, I happened to look up, and right back over here, leaning against the wall, kind of halfway on a bar stool, he had his hat pulled down low across his eyes, and he was looking down and had his arms crossed across his chest. And back then, we used to dress up like cowboys and like the old-time cowboys and play and that stuff. And so anyway, he was listening to our show. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, that is so cool. And so we were done, and when we were done, I was kind of hanging around at the back. And during his last set, he called me up on stage and took off his Telecaster guitar and handed it to me, and I got to play with the band for the rest of the night. That was cool. And then when it was all over and we were standing back at the bar and everybody was gone, Gary and I were standing at the bar together because that's what musicians do. And so he goes, man, you're great, man. I love your songs. Great voice, great guitar player. He said, what are you doing next weekend? And now we're very successful musicians, so I said, nothing. And he said, well, why don't you come on down to Green Hall and open for us? And I said, cool, Green Hall, what's that? I know now. Well, that week I did do some ciphering, and I figured out what Green Hall was, and I was excited. When I got down there, I'd beat my band down there. I had beat his band down there. I'd beat him down there. And I was just walking around the place soaking up the mojo. It's like this kind of a place with all the ghosts of musicians past. You can just feel them in the air, and you can feel the music just soaked into the wood, into the stone around you. And so my band showed up, his band showed up, and then Gary walked in. I walked up to him and said, hey, did you write your song? He said, no, did you? I go, heck yeah, I did. You know. Well, we played that night, and baby, it was wall-to-wall rednecks in that place, man. If one redneck danced or had to go to the bathroom, every redneck danced or had to go to the bathroom because you just went with the flow on that deal. When it was all over, everybody was gone. I was sitting at one of those picnic tables over by the windows over there, and Gary picked up his acoustic guitar and hopped off the stage. He could still hop off the stage back then. And he walked over to me, and he handed it to me. He sat down beside me, and I played this song for him right here, and he sounded just like this. He loved it because I put his name in the third verse. Hey, now there's a place way down in Texas where all the cowboys bring their cowgirls out to see a little band who plays an infectious kind of music that they like to call a Texas kind of country. Well, I ain't got nothing against the boys from Nashville, 'cause I know they really understand how to pick and grin. Still my heart beats to a little swinging rhythm, a Texas kind of country that puts me in this state I'm in. Well, I know that I just might be biased, but when you're right, you know you can't be wrong. So raise that shiner buck up to that Lone Star flag, Wayne, while we play a Texas kind of country on all night long. Hey, now I can tell, mister, you ain't from around here. So let me see if I can't explain what I mean. Now that Texas kind of country, why it's so dear to every God-fearing, hell-raising Texan you've ever seen. Well, I know that I just might be biased, but when you're right, you know you can't be wrong. So raise that shiner buck up to that Lone Star Flag sun while we play a Texas kind of country all night long. I'm gonna play a little bit. If you ain't from Texas, then it can't get loud. If you can't get loud, you just can't have no fun. Baby, have some fun, but take care of one another. 'Cause I wanna go home with the armadillos like Gary Peanut. He loves that part right there. Well, I know that I just might be biased. When you're right, you know you can't be wrong. So raise that shiner back up and salute, son, yeah. While we play a Texas kind of country all night long. While the boys play a Texas kind of country all night long. While all my friends play a Texas kind of country all night long. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So, you know, it is a real thing. It's a law in nature that musicians are better looking than normal people. I mean, obviously, guitar players are the best looking of all musicians. Where are you going, Eddie? And I know it's very tempting to want to get into a relationship with a musician, but I'm just going to tell you, don't do it. Do not do it. I know when you're first together and everybody's behaving, everybody's all lovey-dovey and all that stuff, man, he's going to write a song about you, and it's going to be so sweet, and he's going to rhyme love with dove and above. But if you ever act the fool, he's going to write another song. This is that song. And no, this is not Miss Kelly's song. This one goes out to, well, somebody else. You can find her in the club on any given night. She'll be out on the dance floor with some other guy while he's at home. He's giving bubble baths, he's tucking kids in tight. She doesn't care about the consequences anymore. She says she deserves the fun she's living for, Lord knows. I sure hate to see the wrong man cry. Lord knows. I sure hate to see the wrong man cry. She slides into the backseat without regret with some good-looking cowboy that she just met looks out the window up at that parking lot light. Meanwhile, he's putting tomorrow's lunches in brown paper sacks. He's writing "I love you" sticky notes on those sandwich bags. Lord knows I sure hate to see the wrong man cry. Lord knows I sure hate to see the wrong man cry. I turn on the porch light, I pull the blind, but I don't look in the bedroom mirror as I'm passing by. Lord knows I sure hate to see the wrong man cry. Lord knows I sure hate to see the wrong man cry. The wrong man cry. Thank you very much. So today, I went down to the beach to do a little short video to send out on the Facebooks, and I came. We're staying right there on the beach, and as I walked down the little boardwalk to get to the beach, there were a couple of people that were sitting under the boardwalk, and I was wearing my college shirt, walking by, and all of a sudden I hear "Axum Jacks," and so I looked over and I said, "Axum Jacks," and they went, and I went, and they go. I said, "Did you go to SFA?" Because sometimes people just send their money and their kids there, and they said, "Yeah, we went there." I said, "Really?" I said, "When were you there?" And they told me, and it was the same time I was there. And I said, "That's cool. That's cool." And I said, "I stayed at this particular dorm," and the guy goes, "I stayed at that dorm, but I'd moved out by the time I guess that you moved in." And I said, "Wow, that's really cool, really cool." And his wife had also gone there. And so I said, "Well, where are you from?" And he said, "Oh, we're from Dallas." And I said, "Really? Where'd you go to school in Dallas?" And he said, "Kimball High School." I said, "I'm a Knight. I went to Kimball High School as well." You know, that's where Stevie Ray Vaughan went to school, by the way. I learned in some of the same classrooms he slept in. But I digress. So anyway, we just had old school day there under the boardwalk, and it was just really cool. I had never really written a song about that part of the country, and I thought, man, I oughta. I don't know why I hadn't, but I oughta. And so I did. It's called East Texas Pines. It's on the new record, and I say record because I know my demographic. But anyway, whenever I write a new song, if it's one we like, I'll sing it about a zillion times trying to learn it, and it'll become an earworm, and Kelly and I will wake up singing it, and that's what happened on this song. I knew we had to keep her. And so here we go, East Texas Pines. Let's pack a bag and load the truck. Head on out tonight. It's been a while since we've run away and left these cares behind. Little east of Tyler we'll find Highway 59, East Texas Pine. So call your mom and let her know you won't be dropping by Sunday after church, you know, for lunch and apple pie. We'll be out in Nacogdoches, where everything is fine. East Texas pine. Oh, there's no better place to go to ease your mind. Oh, from the pressures of this heavy world, it's easy if we let it go. Let ourselves unwind. No better place to go to ease your mind. And oh, from the pressures of this heavy world, it's easy if we let it go. Let ourselves unwind. Not too far from where we are, forest paradise. Gentle giants in the breeze, dancing side by side. Little east of Jacksonville, Highway 59, East Texas pine. East Texas pine. East Texas pine. Yeah. Thank you very much. Nacogdoches, the oldest town in Texas, they say. It's a cool place. If you haven't been, make a trek up there and stay in the historic Fredonia Inn Hotel and go look around the campus. Gorgeous campus, gorgeous campus. And I learned a lot there. First time away from home, really, and learned a lot. And it was a great place to go. So there's an anniversary tonight, right? Is it tonight? Wow. And how many years? Woo! There is no way. There is. I still don't believe it. I still don't believe you. I get, but man. What? Congratulations. You know what? That is a blessing. That is a true blessing to be able to be with that person that you've been with your whole life. And I'm jealous. I'm jealous because at my age, I don't think I'm going to be able to see that number. And I'm just so grateful for the time that Miss Kelly and I are going to have, you know, and every day is just so special to me, and I'm so blown away that she would pick me, you know, right, Eddie? Yeah. I say this, I mean, the whole thing is, and don't nod, everybody, all the guys, just get your head stuck. You know, every chick's a little crazy, but you got to find one you can do they're crazy. And I'm telling you, I say it in a good way, baby. But I say this often, I don't know where I leave off and she begins. You know, she is just a treasure to me. And this song here is not a new song. This is an old song. I wrote this one back in the 1900s. The jokes don't get any better, y'all. I mean, if you don't have fun, it's going to be your own fault. But, you know, I'm doing the best I can. Anyway, even though I had written this song before Miss Kelly and I met, she has adopted the song as one of her own. And I get it. We grew up in Dallas, big place. After college, I left there and moved out to the country. And at some point, she also moved out to the country because that's where I was, and she came to live at the Rockin' G. We have a small ranch out there, and this song seemed to strike a chord in her heart. And it's called Cowboy's Requiem. Cowboy, we know that part. Requiem is a Latin word. Literally, it means rest, but it's usually associated with a funeral mass. And so, well, crud, I just told you the whole story. There's no reason to do this song now. But anyway, Kelly identifies with the song on some part, and so it goes like this. There's a house up in the mountains that was made with a cowboy's hands, by a stream that flows like fountains in the green, wide open land. And a lady came to live there. She became the cowboy's girl. She left that city life behind her when she stepped into the cowboy's world. And she loved her cowboy's soul with the purest heart of gold. But she hated when he rode out, left her alone. Well, the seasons kept a changing, and the years they rolled steady by, and her heart was slowly breaking until she thought, I'll surely die. But the cattle needed driving, and the weather wouldn't wait. So she left his girl to cry when he rode out to meet his fate. And she loved cowboy's soul with the purest heart of gold. But she hated when he rode out and he left her alone. Well, her heart was finally broken when they laid him at the door. And so now the trailer claimed him, and now he'd love her no more. And so she packed up her things then. She left that mountain house behind, and she let go of all she hated. But she still held him in her mind, and she loved her cowboy soul with the purest heart of gold. But she hated when he rode out and he left her alone. There's still that house up in those mountains that was made with that old cowboy's hands, by that stream that still flows like fountains. In the green, wide open land. All right. This song was written also before Miss Kelly was born. No, that's not true. You see, Miss Kelly and I, we went first grade through 12th grade together, but we didn't know each other. Oh, well, she knew me because, I played guitar and was famous. And I played football with her brother, so I knew her brother, but I didn't know he had a sister. But I knew there was this girl that was the tallest human being in our whole elementary school, including all the teachers. But I didn't know it was Kelly. And so we met later on in life, and this is another song that when I sing this song, man, baby, all I can think of is how I feel about you. And this song is called Todo el Tiempo, which means all the time. That's good. That's good. You didn't know there was going to be a test, did you? Diana, you did very well. Yeah. I saw Emmanuel look up and, did he say something? But here we go. Todo el tiempo, all the time. Feel free to sing along if you know the words. You ask me if I want you, I tell you all the time. If I had 100 years of beating left in this old heart of mine, it just wouldn't be long enough to get all the wanting done. But I could hold you in my arms and watch the years fall one by one. Te quiero todo el tiempo. Oh, te quiero todo el tiempo. You ask me if I love you, I tell you that I do. Oh, Romeo, he hated Juliet compared to how I feel for you. If I could fit all of Texas on the head of a pin, still the universe cannot contain my love for you. It seems I've loved you all my life, or maybe long before. And if eternity really lasts forever, baby, every day I'm gonna love you just a little more. Ask me if I miss you when I'm far away. If I say that seconds feel like minutes and hours pass like days, would it help you understand the things I've been going through? If I said, hey, baby, when I sing this song, I'm singing just to you, singing just to you. Oh, te extraño todo el tiempo. Oh, te extraño todo el tiempo. It means that I want you all the time. That's a thing you ever means, baby. Hey, amo means you know that I love you. I love you all the time. You know it's true. Hey, I sing this song, it's just for you. Hey, I miss you. Miss you all the time, yeah. Todo el tiempo. Todo el tiempo. Thank you very much. Kelly and I had not been married very long, and I got an interesting message on social media from a lady that I hadn't seen since the 6th grade. And she said, congratulations for you and Kelly getting married. And then she said, I always thought you and I'd get married. And then she said, I thought we would ride horses on the beach and you would write songs about me. So I handed my phone to Kelly and I said, welcome to our new life. And so This lady kept going, believe it or not. And she said, I just don't love my husband anymore. And I thought, well, then why don't you just start loving your husband then, you know? I mean, that's like saying, well, just don't sweep my floor anymore. Well, sweep it, you know? Because love, you know, is not as much about feeling as it is about doing. And it's not even as much about doing as it is about being, because after all, we're not human doings, we're human beings, right? And I guess it was a day or so later, I picked up a guitar and went out on the back porch. I got this cool back porch where hi, y'all.
I'm just having a look-see-loo. Hi, everybody. Hi, y'all. Hi, you.
Hi. Oh. So, all right. So, anyway, where was I? Anyway, I went on the back porch. It's a songwriting place, and I write cool songs out there, or I try to write cool songs out there. Anyway, I just thought about it. What she had said, it kind of stuck in my head, I guess. And that particular night, it was kind of a cool night, and it was raining, but not hard, and it was just like you could hear the rain coming down through the leaves of the trees. And I just thought about love and what it is really all about. This is called Like When You Call My Name. Some say they just don't love the partner anymore. Some lovers' hearts and minds are out the door, and in the waiting arms of another one. This time they're hoping for a new outcome. Some love is difficult to navigate. Some lovers struggle to appreciate the moments that make this life interesting. Some overlook all of the little things, like when you call my name. That sound that comforts me like a back porch rain, falling easy through the trees or a summer day. It's all the same when you call my name. That little tingle you're depending on won't last forever, baby, and will soon be gone. And what remains, that's what I'm speaking of. And how you stand in it's what they call love. Like staying gentle when you're feeling rough, or being patient, baby, when you've had enough. And when you're angry, show some self-control. Speak a kind word to a wounded soul. Like when you call my name, that sound that comforts me like a back porch rain, falling easy through the trees or a summer day. It's all the same when you call my name. I know an old couple and they face a tough times holding hands. That's how it came to me. Baby, that's exactly how I want us to be. Like when you call my name, that sound that comforts me like a back porch rain, falling easy through the trees or a summer day. It's all the same when you call my name. That sound that comforts me like a back porch rain, falling easy through our trees or a summer day. It's all the same when you call my name. When you call my name. The wind in our hair, the sun in our eyes, but we didn't care, no, because we had to fly. The road lay before us with bridges to burn, and life lay around us at every turn. I can still see your face in that big Texas moon, on that blanket of stars, beneath that big blue bonnet sky. Dreamed up forever, we wished on a star that you chose from heaven, from the roof of my muscle car. I thought I could hold you, but that curve in the road, then you were taken from me. I was left there all alone. And I can still see your face in that big Texas moon, on that blanket of stars, beneath that big blue bonnet sky. Well, I chose your blue dress, the one that you had on the night that we said that we'd be together from now on, beneath blue bonnet sky. Blue bonnet sky. I dreamed you laid your head on my shoulder. I could almost smell your perfume, feel you leaning up against me. And I awoke alone in our room. so far away. And years in my past, the torch is forgotten, baby, but the fire lasts and lasts and lasts. And I can still see your face in that big Texas moon, baby, on that blanket of stars. Beneath that big blue bonnet sky, and I can still see your face in that big Texas moon up there on that blanket of stars. Beneath that big blue bonnet sky, blue bonnet sky, blue bonnet sky. Oh yeah, Thank you very much. I get asked often about that song, and people say, "Is that song true?" And I always say, "Yes, I'm sure it is. It's not my story, but I think it's probably true." You know, that song has a lot of my story pieces in it, but it always feels sad for the person that's really living that song out. Because time is precious with the people we love. It's so important not to let the little things mess up the big things. I mean, how did y'all do it? How did y'all get through this far? You know, I found out. Go. Boy, I think that's probably true. I know that that's true. I'd like to know who it was that didn't know who they were doing the other times. We did it your way first? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, I'm taking notes. Well, amen. Well, appreciate that word. That's good. Yeah. I always remember also that hindsight too is 50-50. So I might have said that too fast for some of y'all. Here's a title cut from the new record. It's called La Foto Grande. And when I'm not a natural Spanish speaker, you know, as you can tell probably. But I wanted to get it right. And so I was asking my Spanish-speaking friends, I wanted to say the big picture in Spanish. And so I was saying, El Foto Grande, La Foto Grande. And I was getting mixed messages. I was like, man, how's it that you speak the language, but you don't know how to speak it correctly, you know? And then later that night I went home, turned on the news. There was some white guy speaking English. He didn't know how to speak that correctly either. So I get it, you know? It was like in school when I thought, you know, all the Hispanic kids, man, they'd be killing it in Spanish, you know, and some of them not so much, you know. And then I remember, well, you know, I'm not killing it in English. So, yeah, it's that same deal. So anyway, the explanation that made the most sense to me was that the word is photografia. And so just because you shorten it to slang doesn't mean that you change the gender of the word. Thank you. And it bailed me out. Thank you. And so that made sense. So I called it La Foto Grande. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it's on the record, so that's what we're singing tonight. It's a big picture, man. When I wrote this song, I realized that I'd subconsciously made each verse a snapshot of a person's life. And I thought, wow, that must have been a God thing, because that was brilliant right there. Here we go. World passing by through the window of a big Ford dinosaur on wheels. Ain't a life from the backseat as the miles rolled by. If I'd only known back then, that was a good day. The Foto Grande. Everything I owned was in my car. The old folks, they looked on, and my mama cried. Ain't a life from the front seat never seemed this hard. If I'd only known back then, that was a good day. Yes, sir. The Foto Grande. Well, our dreams are out of reach. We're standing in a mess. Can't see the light, but we're hoping for the best. Take a look around us, take another breath. The grand plan that brought us both here, it's perfect, yes. Baby, take a look around. Just take a look around. The room seems quiet in here tonight. Gathered all around just to say goodbye. Ain't a life seems strangely sweet near the great divide. If I'd ever known back then, wouldn't have it any other way. Gonna touch the face of God today. The Foto Grande. Baby, take a look around. Foto Grande, say, take a look around. The Foto Grande, take a look around. The Foto Grande, woo, take a look around. The big picture, La Foto Grande, and the album cover is a picture of my mom and my dad and my little brother Bruce are holding him in. Mom's holding him in her arms, and they're on vacation. And I ain't in the picture. I must have been taking the picture because the picture's a little bit crooked, you know. And I think I remember it. I think we had one of those little cameras you look down through. I think they call it a brownie or something like that, you know. So we photoshopped my grandson in there. He would have been the age I was when I took the picture. But its back is to the camera because he's kind of weird like that. But also because he's looking at the big picture behind them, and that's the deal. I just have time for just a couple of more tunes, and I feel like I got permission earlier from Joel, and if not, I'll ask for forgiveness later, to play a cover. I'd like to do that tonight. I wasn't going to do that, but I just feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. Listen, y'all, we've been through a lot in the past few years. Some of us are in the middle of the storm right now. I get it. Some of us have come out and we're catching our breath only to find out that there's maybe another storm coming. But I'm going to tell you what, there's always a blessing in it if we can just stay in it and stay focused and stay attached to that which is right and real and good and faithful and holy. Sometimes it's got to get dark enough for us to see the stars. I didn't write the song, but I sure wish I had. Grandpa sold the house because the business failed. He said rock bottom is just solid ground. Start again. When life ain't nothing like a fairy tale, we just gotta work and hope and pray and say amen. It's gotta get dark enough for you to see the stars shine like diamonds on black velvet. Love is just a word until you felt it, even when life falls apart, strong enough to break your heart. It's gotta get dark enough for you to see the stars. Darkness fell on me when I lost my dad. Girl, you were the light that guided me through. You walked right beside me down that road to hell and back. And in that midnight hour, I fell in love with you. It's gotta get dark enough for you to see the stars shine like diamonds on black velvet. Love is just a word until you felt it, even when life falls apart, strong enough to break your heart. It's gotta get dark enough for you to see the sun. Staring at the sky tonight, I never felt so alive. Sometimes the lights have to go out for you to see what life's about. And it's gotta get dark enough for you to see the stars move you like a work of art, strong enough to break your heart. It's gotta get dark enough for you to see the stars, see the stars, for you to see the stars, see the stars. All right. You know how we end this every time. You got to sing along. Here we go. I'm gonna tell it, come on. I'm gonna tell it, I'm gonna tell that gospel story. How he came to earth and left his home in glory. He went to the cross, washed my sins away. Here we go one more time. I'm gonna tell it. Tell it, gonna tell that gospel story, y'all. How he came to earth, left his home, and He went to the cross, yeah, washed my sins away. Hey, 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 only the name of Jesus, Jesus, the way, the truth, the life, can get me down that narrow road. Keep it straight and get me right, right, right. I'm gonna tell it. Gonna tell that gospel story. How he came to earth, he left his home in glory, went through the cross, washed my sins away. Hey, 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 you know he walked on the water, ooh, changed that water into wine, made the lame to walk, he made the blind to see, he healed that soul of mine, mine, mine. I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell the gospel story. How he came to earth, he left his home in glory. He went to the cross, washed my sins away. Here come the tricky part. I'm gonna tell it. Ooh, I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell the story. How he came to earth, he left us in glory. He to the cross, washed my sins away. Hey, hey, listen to me. Whatever trouble that you're in, he knows what you're going through. He came, he set this old sinner free, you know. He'll do the same for you, you. I'm gonna tell it. Come on, take it home. I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell that gospel story. How he came to earth, he left his home in glory. He went to the cross, washed my sins away. Hey, 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 you know he went to the cross, washed my sins away. Yeah, he went to the cross, washed my sins. He went to the cross, washed my sins away. Went to the cross, washed my sins away. Went to the boy, washed my sins away. Went to the cross, washed my. See, he went to the cross, washed my sins away. Yes, he went to the cross, washed my sins away. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you, Joel and Angela. Thank you all for being here tonight. Love you guys. Good night. Be careful.